Echo Casters. It is I, Echo Craft, on a gorgeous New England drive to the salt mine. Beautiful out. Look at the sun shining, blazing in the camera. Great, isn't it? Anyway, I'm here to talk. Oh, look at that sunlight blazing into that lens. Look at that. All right. I'm here to talk about the new Behringer, the Behringer JT 4000M. Talked a little bit about it the other night. I know Samurai mentioned it yesterday. I'm going to talk about it a little bit because it's a very tiny little unit, and it fits in the palm of your hand, basically, which is pretty cool. And it is a representation of, or a clone of, the JP 8000, which I absolutely loved that synthesizer. And I never owned one, and I always wanted one. And at the time, I had already spent a lot of money on some stuff, and that thing came out, and I wanted to trade everything in and buy that when it first came out. And is a virtual analog synth, the JP 8000, you know. And I wish that I could have gotten one. But now, you know, with Behringer, it seems like I can. I mean, you know, it's not the same thing, because the other, you know, the JP was a big unit. It's gorgeous. Hey, what's up, George? You know, so I just thought, you know, it'd be kind of cool to talk about the JT, because I think the JT 4000M is definitely going to be something on my radar. You know, it's not even on my radar. I'm just going to buy it when it comes out. It's $50, and it comes with the M stands for MIDI. And I believe it was it Patch Dog that did or was it the other? I think it was the other guy that did the Behringer demo of it. And I like the fact that it's got a little MIDI cable that comes with it, the little 3.5 millimeter to the MIDI out or connector. So I get to hook up a keyboard to it and play it, which is going to be nice, instead of using the little tiny keys that are on it, which is cool, but I'm not a big fan of little tiny mini keys. I've had my fair share of mini stuff. I still own all my Volcas. I don't have them set up. I don't want to get rid of those. I don't know why. I don't know what it is. It's a sentimental thing I have with the Volkers, because they... Look at that. Look at those trees here in New England. Look at those freaking trees, man. This is what makes New England beautiful, is in the fall. I hate to get off topic here, but can anybody see those? I hope I'm not jittery. I know this is a weird segment, but anyway. Yeah, so I could play it with MIDI and hook it up to a keyboard and play it, and use the little knobs that are on there to get some sounds. I don't know, it sounds amazing. It just blows my mind when companies like Behringer and Korg and people like that come out with these. You know, I got the Korg, was it the Electron series, or no, what's it called? Micro Korgs, or whatever I forget what they're called, but they're the little tiny battery operated ones. I got all of them, and I've done some cool stuff with those. Ran them through effects. I love the delay, the analog delay one. I have 2 of those. I do use those in my music. But yeah, so I mean, it's amazing that they can fit all of those tiny, all those sounds into those tiny little boxes. Just goes to show you what really is inside a synthesizer today. But I don't want to talk about that, because then we're going to go down that rabbit hole. It's really inside a synthesizer today. So I don't want to deal with that right now. But anyway, It's kind of cool that, I could plug in, like I said, a MIDI keyboard, or like the Rev 2, or I'm going to probably have it sit right on top of the Juno X, because there's space for it on each side. That's one thing about the Juno. It always had like this space. It's kind of weird. And you're able to put pedals and stuff on there, But yeah, anyway, so like I said, I'm a little tired of like the MIDI stuff, but with this one, you're able to hook it up through MIDI, not MIDI. I think it's going to be fun, the Volcas, they're all, you can hook the Volcas up through MIDI. They have the MIDI in, which is nice. And they also have the sync in and sync out. But I don't know, I put the Volcas away a long time ago. They've been all boxed up and they're sitting in my closet. I don't intend to sell them because I'm not going to get shit for them. And it's a sentimental thing anyway, because the Volcas are what got me back into synthesis when I sold everything. Like synth punk, he sold everything. Now he has a minimal setup, which is great. I'm not knocking it. I did the same thing. I ended up with just a motif and plugins. That was my thing, and I wasn't even using Logic. I was just using GarageBand. And that was a bad time in my life. There was a lot of things going on, but it was also a good time in my life. I met my wife, but at the time, there was a lot of weird stuff going on personally, so I sold everything. Happens. Hopefully that'll never happen again. I'm too old to start a new life, start over, and do different things. But it is what it is. I don't think you're ever too old. I shouldn't say that, too old to start a new life. I don't think you're ever too old to do that. But I feel as though, I've built my foundation, and I built a pretty strong house on top of that foundation, and I'm just going to keep it that way. What's up, guys? I can't see everybody in the chat, but I'm glad you're here. Let's see, who can I see there? Oh, I see that Hans is in the chat. How's it going, man? Who else we got? XLR, I guess, is that how you say it? Or Stellar? What is it? I can't see, guys. I'm so sorry. I'm driving. I got my driving glasses on. But anyway, getting back to the JT. So the JT 4000M by Behringer. And Hans, I'm sure you're going to hate this thing. But I want it. And it's cheap. I spend more than that on gasoline. So yeah, so I want it. When it comes out, I'm going to snag one. And if it's a piece of junk, I don't know, who knows, maybe I'll raffle it off. I don't know. Maybe it'll be one of the prizes in the Kumite. I don't know, we'll see. I think it's going to be cool though. Like I said, I always like the the sound of the JP. I think the JP is awesome. And yeah, so anyway, so back in the day when the JP 8000 came out, I remember going into Guitar Center and I looked at it and I went, oh my God, this is when Guitar Center, actually had stuff to demo. And, look at those trees. Can anybody see those trees? They're so beautiful here in New England. I'm sorry. I love the fall. Love the pumpkins. Love, everything about it. Watching horror movies, that kind of shit. All right. Anyway, so it was sitting there, and I was playing it, and I was like, I fell in love with it. But again, I never had the cash to buy it. And then they came out with the desktop version. And I always wanted one of those too, because I could actually, that was rack mountable, I had the, what was it, the MS-2000? Is that what it was called, I think? By Korg, which was basically, they took that engine and put it into the micro Korg. But yeah, I had that unit. That was a cool unit. I didn't really do much with that unit. I don't know why. It was just, I don't know. It was one of those things that, like, I even had a microKORG, and I got rid of the microKORG. I had that for a while. I did some recording with it, but there's something about that synthesizer engine that I just don't like. You know, what's going on here? Oh, and I don't know what it is. So I had it. I got rid of it. I had the MS-2000. I had that. I got rid of that, and then I got a microKORG a few years later. Played with that. Got rid of that. You know, it's weird. When I was buying gear and building up my studio again, I was just buying stuff randomly just to try synthesizers out again, and then getting rid of them because they weren't what I was used to. I was used to analog stuff, and I was used to digital stuff as well. But yeah, it was weird. Now it's kind of like I know what I want, and like what I. Back then, there wasn't, even though we had internet, there wasn't a whole lot of stuff you could research. You know, YouTube wasn't even out. Sonic State was something that you read. You know, Sound on Sound magazine, Keyboard magazine, Musicians magazine. All of those I subscribed to because that was the only way you could find out about stuff. You know, Mix magazine. When I went to school for music and sound design and technology, I subscribed to Mix magazine because I became, you know, I was an engineer for a while and things like that. So, but that was the only way you could find stuff out. Really, there wasn't any information on the internet like there is now, and there wasn't, you know, YouTube where you could go and find out about stuff and learn about it and read about it and, you know, watch demos. You know, there wasn't any of that. So anyway, so yeah, so I'm hoping that this little guy, that when I order it, it sounds good. It sounds good to me on the videos I've seen. I don't know. We'll see what happens, man. You know, I'm losing my voice right now. I don't know why, but I'm almost at the salt mine. I just wanted to talk a little bit about the JT 4000M. And those of you in the chat, I'm glad you jumped in. I'm sorry I can't see you all. But anyway, yeah, I'm losing my voice and I need it to work. So, like I always say, guys, stay tuned because there's more to come. Stay frosty. And like I always say,